Well, this article that was submitted by Ryu, I am definitely going to stray away from apples for a long while. Oh, yeah, thanks, man. I'm not gonna be touching apples anytime too soon. Time for me to jump to oranges. Better for me anyway. Anyway, go away from it. This article is, of course, taking place in California, and I am not too fond about this one. Pardon if I'm yawning. You know what time it is over here. I'm still up. Don't ask why. But if you do ask why, you know why. California family finds sewing needles in apples bought at store. Okay, first off, before I even start this one, I want to know which store actually did this kind of shit. Couldn't nearly kill somebody with that shit. We shall find out. Let's see. Needles found in apples bought at Albertsons. Yeah, I'm definitely not going near Albertsons. Man says he bit down and felt the needle in his teeth. Ooh. This sounds like one of those Halloween urban legends. An apple with a needle inside of it, but that appears to be what was on the shelf at a California grocery store. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't go to Albertsons. There's another reason why I don't go to Albertsons. How could someone do this kind of thing? Yeah, I asked that too. As our partners at KGTV report, Sandra Nguyen of Fallbrook, California, bought 5 Honeycrisp apples for her family at a nearby Albertsons grocery store. But she was in for a nasty surprise when she got home. First, the family's father found a sewing needle when biting into one of the apples. My mom came into the room. Look what your dad found! The kids were running around. There's a needle in the apple! Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's a goddamn shame. Then 9-year-old Hannah found another one slicing an apple. At least they're smart enough to slice the apple and not try to eat it fully like I try to do. After discovering the second needle, the Nguyen's contacted the store, which in turn immediately pulled the apples. Employees also contact police and check surveillance video. And speaking of surveillance, the store didn't find any other needles in the pulled apples and is now checking with vendors and distributors to see where the needles could have come from. Local law enforcement has reportedly launched an investigation to discover the source of the needles. As for 9-year-old Hannah, San Diego's KNSD reports she's sticking to oranges. You know what I gotta say to that? And I mean this. Normally, I do mean normally. Normally, when I usually go into fruit season, excuse me. Normally for fruit season, what we usually do is we usually get apples and oranges and bananas. Oh, banana. Sorry, had to. Anyway, whenever we get apples, oranges, and bananas, we usually check them. We usually check them for freshness, make sure they look ripe, and make sure they're safe, and of course make sure they're fresh. Even in the summertime with watermelons, the same thing. You gotta do the same thing. You gotta make sure it's checked, fresh, and it's ripe and it's good. But seeing sewing needles in apples, that literally right there and there, that literally makes me not want to touch an apple. I was like, okay, it's an Albertsons. Let's think about this. Albertsons. One of the main stores that I remember is linked to, I believe, what is now known as CVS. What used to be called Save On is now called CVS. CVS Pharmacy. But for Albertsons dropped the ball. I mean, seriously, when you do something like that, Albertsons, you supposed to check your shit before you put them in the stock. I would think, okay, the smart thing you would do is, even the distributors, they would know. Okay, the first thing you have to do is you have to check your stuff. You have to check your stuff in and out, especially if it's coming from farmers. You got other places like farmers markets and such, and distribution. That's a whole different thing right there. You have to make sure the stuff you sell is pure. The stuff you sell has to be safe for your customers to eat. Because your customers are your biggest priority. You want to make sure that your customers come back for more. It's like with me going to, say, Ralph's or Food for Less. If I go to Ralph's, I'm expected to get at least at least 150 to maybe $200 worth of groceries. And that's usually for cooking. If not for cooking, it's usually for, like, say, drinks, like juices, sodas, tea, coffee, whatever, and what have you. Um, Even when I go to Smart and Final, which is not far from my job, it's like an extra block from my job. Since I live on 69th, my job only takes me to like 10 blocks down, which is 79th, and I just walk there every Thursday. So I can easily walk past that. I can easily walk past that place, go down one more block, go to Smart and Final, get myself something like say a carafe of orange juice, or say or say something all natural juice or something like that. I can get that stuff, come out, go right back a block, go to my job, very easy, without any problems, no problems at all. However, I do mean this. However, whereas food is concerned, you have to be very careful in this, especially in this day and age. Food is a very, very precious commodity, and to basically not, being careless like this, you can't be careless with fruit. I mean, that's the thing. Especially with apples, because we've all went through the Snow White thing, the Sleeping Beauty thing. There was like you know poison apple, or there's a worm in the apple or something like that. You can never be too sure, and it's best to be on the safe side when you're trying to do something like this. When you do something like this, it only means one thing. You best have to be careful when you do this sort of thing. I'm not lying. You have to be really, really careful when you deal with, fruits and vegetables. I mean, now that I think about it, I'm kind of concerned about if I go, like, say, next week, I go to the store. because Easter's next. Easter's coming up. Um, and you know me, I had to cook a ham. I said at the very least, that's the very least I'm gonna do for my house. Just cook some ham. And usually, whenever I cook ham, I put a little seasoning and whatnot. Put a little soda for flavoring and some fruit juice. Just to give it that special flavoring and whatnot. Just to make it nice and flavorful. I don't want to see like some maggots in. I don't want to see no maggots in the ham that I basically buy from Food for Less or Ralph's, and there's some maggots just crawling around doing God knows what to the ham, and then I had to serve that to my family. So no, I pray that shit doesn't happen. I really do. I really pray that this this should not happen. This is an Albertsons. Albertsons is supposed to be at least second best to probably Ralph's or or Food for Less or whatever store sells food, like Walmart or something like that. I mean, we already having issues at Walmart because we had to deal with medicine, and getting medicine is medicine these days is very expensive. Sometimes it's $200, sometimes $300. But all in all, it's not just us getting the medicine, but it's more like you shouldn't have to wait for the medicine either. I mean, getting the medicine is one thing, but if you have to wait more than 30 minutes just to get a pack of pills, or go through the patient's bios and everything, and they don't know who's who and what's what, there's something wrong. I'm just gonna I'm gonna full out say it. It shouldn't be like that. Stores like Albertsons, Walmart, or whatever other popular chain should not drop the ball like this. I mean, if one store chain drops the ball, who knows what may happen? Ralph's might drop the ball. Target might drop the ball. And it's in one simple thing that people look forward to. I mean, we've heard too many stories about GameStop. GameStop dropped the ball one too many times, so in a few small areas, but still, it's like you're supposed to cater to the people's needs for whatever they want, whether it's groceries, whether it's video games, whether it's computer supplies, materials. You're not supposed to drop the ball like that. I mean, you're supposed to be spot on with it. If there's something wrong, spot it. And thankfully, this family did spot this thing and said, you know what, these these apples are contaminated. It has something in them. I thought you should know. And they said, oh, really? Well, let's discontinue that shit. That's how you're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to basically just you know, not realize, oh, well, you see, this had this in it. I thought I'd like to show you this. You know, you have to be very careful. People are supposed to be kind of, aware, especially if you're dealing with food. You're supposed to be aware. Now, I remember I had a story like this, and this is long before I got along with my siblings. I remember we had something like we had a cake being brought over, right? And I didn't know it then, but this cake had, but there was something I couldn't tell about this cake. And one moment, maybe somebody caught the phone. Two, three. Oh yeah, somebody caught the phone. Anyway, what was I saying? About a cake. Yeah, yeah. Now, now I didn't know it, but I felt like, just like just feeling around the cake. I wasn't touching the cake. I was just feeling around for it. So I felt around for this cake, and what I did was I pulled out a long strand of hair that nobody could see this. Nobody could see this long strand of hair except for me. I pulled out this long strand of hair, threw it in the trash. I said, "Did you know there was a long strand of hair in this cake? You still want to eat it? No? Okay then, let's give it to the neighbors." We did give it to the neighbors the next day. I'm pretty sure they enjoyed that cake wholeheartedly, hair strand and all. No, I didn't put the hair strand back in the cake. Come on, now. I'm not that evil. But clearly, no. But clearly, that story is something you should be aware of. You should always be aware of whatever you eat, and this is why we pray over our food. Now I know most people don't do it at their households, and this is a fine practice that you should try to do. Is pray over your food before pray over your food, whether you're going out to the store, whether you're serving the food, or you're cooking, where you're cooking the food, serving the food, or just trying it out for yourself. Pray over your food just to make sure you do not get poisoned. You don't find anything diseased or harmful that will befall you, and just make sure everything as the way it should taste, the way it should be. There's nothing in there that'll basically make you sick. So it's a good practice to always pray over your food. Now that's one thing I had to strongly advise. I mean, if you're going, I mean, whatever you do, whatever you get, just remember to just say a small prayer over your food. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a big long prayer. Just like you know, cross your heart, and, cross your heart and just say, "Bless this food." That's it. God bless this food. That's all you can basically say. God bless this food. But this, uh, I'm sorry. This is one of those. This is one of those things that kind of like it really does disturb me because I I do the shopping. I do the shopping. Okay. So whatever I get, I make sure that whatever we need, we eat it. Because I'm telling you, if I have my camera on, if I have my camera on hand, I will show you how packed our freezer is. Our freezer is so packed with food, it's ridiculous. And the only thing we have to do is eat it. And thankfully, when we do eat it, food should not be wasted. Good food like that should not be wasted. And usually, like, I stray away from TV dinners because usually I don't like TV dinners. I really don't, because most times they just sit up in our freezer, and that's a bad habit we have. We have a nasty habit of letting food waste just because they don't want to eat it. Like, well, don't have us go out and get you these things, and you're not gonna eat it, and you're gonna act like I don't know what to eat. You got plenty of stuff you can eat. If you don't want to have something fresh, you can have like a TV dinner. It wouldn't hurt. It's actually it helped because you're getting rid of all this stuff. And I remember like last week I took a bag of I took a bag of I took a bag and tossed like a good number of TV dinners out because they were outdated. So usually whenever I get something frozen, I get something like say some some chicken nuggets, some pizza rolls, or some chicken strips, or even hot pockets, something like that. Because whenever I'm usually online and it's after hours and I'm doing videos, um, I usually like to I usually like to have something whenever I make something like this. Um, I usually like to have something to go with what I'm doing. And for what it's worth, it's like 2 minutes in the microwave, or rather 2.5 minutes to almost 3 minutes. But the thing is, we got these flimsy ass foam plates that basically burn right through. So I'm like, yeah, if I go to the store today, I'm definitely gonna get some paper plates because they're more durable than foam. Plus, you're not supposed to have styrofoam plates anyway. It's just not good, especially not in the microwave. They burn through so easily. But yeah, my message to anybody who goes to the store: make sure before you go out, you say a prayer. You say a quick prayer. You say, "God bless me and the food that I'm about to get," and drive on, man. Drive on. That's all I can say. You have to be careful in this day and age because there are people that are very sick and they don't even realize they're sick. You don't know what may be in your food. Maybe there's something good, something bad, but you always have to check. And that's all I gotta say. So my thanks for Ryu for sending me this article. I will definitely be posting this much later. But for right now, though, I'm going to call it. And next time you see me, um, well, I'll just be doing some more videos. Or I'll just have some more videos being posted. But, coming up for this weekend, say about, maybe on Thursday, I'll have a channel update posted. So, yeah, interesting stuff despite what I had to go through to make this update. Or said update that I will be posting, my guess, Thursday. So, until then, take care, God bless, and of course, be safe out there. I'm Ichigo Musco, the Tenkaichi of gaming, or as you see it on screen there, Pookie Izzy 7. And I'll see you next time for more videos. Until then, take care, God bless, and of course, Tenkai Muso!